Good morning and welcome to day 98. My name is Bridger Frederick and this is my channel. Man, no wonder comedians are experiencing like a meteoric rise in celebrity and popularity in, modern times. Because I think we're all waking up to the fact that there's one giant cosmic joke. And I can't believe it took me 31 years to get it, because it's, once you understand, it's wild. I mean, I just spent my whole life fighting my way upstream as hard as I could to figure out my purpose and how to be happy and how to, find joy and love and how to be worthy of love in life. And I just fought upstream as hard as I could, thinking at many points I wouldn't, survive, climbing through all of the, man-made dams that are in this, river of life now. And when I finally got to the, to the source of everything, to the source of the river, way up in the mountains where it all starts, I finally got the irony that I could have just stayed in the ocean all along and just floated away and, floated around and enjoyed and hung out. That I was born exactly, where and how I needed to be. And it was this whole fight up the river that was, just a giant, blind spot. And now I understand, like, okay, now all I have to do is, lay down and just gently float back to where I need to be. It's, the surrender, the letting go of control, of power is just everything. It's wild how easily I could have learned that by just not being, stubborn and thinking that I was special and that I had some unique path that needed to be followed. I easily could have just reached out for help. I could have gone to, a therapist or a 12-step program. The 12-step program, like, I basically just found my own way to doing it, but through immense struggle and without the knowledge and support of people who have gone through the journey before me. And so the process was drug out for of addiction and problems and everything, and surrender was just drug out for an extra 12 plus years of suffering beyond, perhaps what was necessary. And, did I gain lots of stuff in those 12 years? Of course, but could I have gained, immeasurable more progress and enjoyed the short amount of time that I had on Earth much more in that time? Undoubtedly. I mean, just absolutely undoubtedly. Going, being stubborn and headstrong and fighting your way through life to, protect some image that people have of you, because that was my problem. I mean, that's still a huge problem of mine that I'm working on, letting go of, is I just had such a strong view of myself and how other people should perceive me. My ego, I just believed, I didn't want to show any weakness. I didn't want to show any vulnerability, at least in certain aspects. There were some ways that I would, but I thought that I was protecting the people around me, because that's what my parents did. They didn't put their, especially my father, did not put any of his stress or worries or anything onto me, at least not directly. He never shared what he was going through and I thought, that was stoic and important, and that you, as a man, didn't show vulnerabilities to other people because it was unfair and that they didn't deserve to have to deal with that. And it's just patently false. There is people in certain states and existences within their journey that aren't ready to take that on. You know what I mean? You can't just pour your shit onto anyone. But there are plenty of people out there in everyone's life, or that are ready and willing to become a part of your life very quickly, that are happy to help and take on and help you process and talk and do all sorts of stuff, and share in that fear and vulnerability, whatever it is. It seems obvious maybe when someone else says it, but are you really allowing that into your life? Because for me, I was always, no matter who they were or how I perceived them, I was always, honored or, felt stoked when someone would share vulnerability to me and reach out for help and, want my advice or help or anything in any way. It made me feel like they respected me and cherished my opinion. But yet I'm unwilling to do that with someone else because of this imaginary fucking vision I have that I think they have of me. It's completely inside my imagination. I have no idea how they view me. They probably don't even think about me that much, more than just in passing, or just, thinking a quick, nice thing, kind of how we think about other people. I seldomly think anything about people negative about anyone, like, especially, and more than in just kind of like a passing humorous sort of way. Almost never in anything other than a passing humorous sort of way, of like, what an idiot. And it's normally in like, I can totally see myself doing that, and it's funny. But so, yeah, I assume that is how most other, people think. The point is, it just doesn't matter. The point is that, there's no hope at all in getting what you want or where you want, what you truly want. You can delude yourself and fight towards false goals and things that you think you want, really hard. But when you get there, it'll be a dull, sad, empty realization if you don't just let go. Let go of the struggle for control. Let go of, any belief that, you're the maker of your own destiny. And I know that sounds counterintuitive because it kind of goes, still sounds crazy when I say it, but you do. You just have to let go, because, so this is how I've come to understand it, is all of that need for control comes from your lower level emotion, your lower 3 energy centers or chakras. They are where your survival emotions are, and I heard that before, fear, jealousy, shame, guilt. I had heard that and intuitively knew it, but I didn't understand it until I started doing long breath holds and feeling the, survival emotions coming up of fear and like and anxiety and all that, and realizing that it was like thoughts inside your mind that try to get you to take actions, but that all those lower level emotions, any negative emotion, fear, sadness, jealousy, shame, guilt, they're only supposed to be a quick trigger to generate your awareness of something. Like fear, you're supposed to feel fear and then assess your immediate surroundings for danger. And once you realize, oh, I'm not in danger, you're supposed to process that fear up into other things. And even if you do like process it and realize like, oh, I'm in danger, then you're supposed to process that up. And if you're a warrior, you process it up into courage and strength. And if you're a true warrior, you process it up into happiness and bliss and excitement and love, because this is what you're born to do. You're born to overcome, you're born to fight, you're born to conquer whatever it is that's threatening your safety. And that's why I realized that these lower level emotions have absolutely no use case other than bringing our awareness and attention to something, and then processing whatever that event or thought or thing is up through all the other emotions and making it actually fucking useful in some way, shape, or form. And that was exactly what I realized when I tried to find if there was actually any value in these things. And I thought, war, fighting, protecting yourself, anger is really useful. Like, you need to, because I always had this like deep-seated anger that if a threat really came to my life, to my family's life, I would, there's nothing that I thought this anger couldn't push through, at least as far as pain, and there's nothing that could have been inflicted on me besides death that would stop me from fighting for my own life and the life of someone that I love. But then I realized and thought about, as a thought experience, who's really more dangerous in a battle or in war? The guy that's the most angry, or the guy that is in a state of absolute ecstasy and bliss at the idea of fighting to the death because it's their purpose, because they're a warrior, and it's what they were put here to do, is to defend their life, their family's life, their culture, their way of life in general. The guy that's living in a state of purpose and bliss and excitement is going to have way more self-control. And obviously there could be a huge, a huge difference in their skills. I was trying to find a smart person word, but couldn't come up with it. A huge difference in their skills. And, but if two equally skilled people come to the fight with, all other factors equal, and one of them is in just complete joy, this is their moment of, they have come here to do this, they're going to have a significant upper hand. So my point is, all of those emotions are only there to bring attention to things, and then to, basically be an alchemist and alchemize them into better and better emotions until you're just grateful for whatever it is that happened. And that doesn't mean you can just do it instantly right away with everything. If someone in your life dies that you love a ton, that's you're not just going to be, hopefully, I don't know, maybe some people can, but you're not just going to instantly transmute that grief into gratefulness. It's just not that way, and it's supposed to be a long, arduous, and difficult practice. There is tons of things that I have realized in the last 6 or 8 weeks that I feel shame or guilt or fear or sadness about, that I've never processed. I've just constantly pushed them down with addiction or distraction or just consumption of some sort or another, or activity, just doing stuff for the sake of ignoring what's going on in there. And for that reason, I've kind of forgot what exactly I was saying. Jesus, I literally had to watch that back because I just totally lost my train of thought. I said fear, shame, addiction, and just started a whole nother tangent in my mind. But what I was saying is there's so many things that, I tamped down with, addictions or whatever. And the only way that I've been able to start processing them is first recognize them, and then I have to, every meditation, go through the same things over and over and over again and find a million ways to forgive myself and a million ways to allow the world and the universe or God or whatever to forgive me. Like, it's not, and it's not even, the work isn't even close to being done. I have a lot of making up to do, and a lot, it's incredibly arduous, the work is, and it creates tons of fear of, like, once you really see the truth of what you have to face and what you have to do, it's intense. I am, constantly descending into a state of fear, and then having to remind myself of fear for what I have to do, and what the threat to my ego that some of these actions are implying, that the construct that I've set up of who Bridger is, a lot of that is going to die. A lot of that image that I've created or tried to create or imagined is out there has to go, and that's really scary. So it's a constant, it's a build-up to even be able to, face all those fears. You can't just realize what you have to do and instantaneously do it. Well, you can actually just realize what you have to do and then instantaneously do it. I can't do that because I have to, build myself up to a point where, as soon as I feel that fear, it instantly turns into courage and strength and happiness and gratitude and all that, other stuff. So, yeah, that's it. But the point is there is, whatever it is that created this world, this universe, us, has an incredible sense of humor. The ultimate cosmic joke is that it's the fighting, the struggling, the pushing, the all of the misconceptions about how you have to work hard. I'm not saying you don't have to work hard. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be as hard as you think. The first step is just surrendering, letting go, and just letting the world take you in the direction through your own joy and bliss and excitement and love. Following those veins is how you make it, not, pushing through things because of shame and guilt and fear of losing what you have or of failure or what other people think. All of those emotions suck. They suck asshole. Like, it's just like taking a giant bong rip out of the asshole of the world to let those emotions control anything in your life, like other than momentary awareness. Feel bad emotion, what's causing this bad emotion, transmute it up through your body into actual productive human emotion. The world wants you. That's the part that I finally am understanding just most, like, really recently, like 10, 20 intense breath work meditation sessions I've done. I'm like, oh, the world wants you to be in a state of never-ending joy and bliss. It wants you to just, that's the goal. That's the, the set point that it's pushing you towards. Everything in your life is pushing you towards being completely surrendering and just basking in love and joy and bliss and wonder and awe at how amazing this place is. All the challenges are just, gentle reminders to push you back onto that course. So, yeah, that's it. The great cosmic joke is to get everything you want, you just have to stop grasping for it like a psychopath and driving forward and forcing yourself to do things that you hate through shame and guilt and fear of losing something or not being able to pay bills. You just got to let go of control and, do what you need to do. That doesn't mean sit around and do nothing unless that's what you need. I think Jim Carrey said being depressed, just means you need deep rest. And I really took that into account, and I'm just resting my mind, resting from, forcing myself to do things. I'm working out when I really want to work out, and the types of workouts I'm doing are ones that, make me feel good and bring me joy and happiness. It was such a battle my whole life to go to the gym and work out. And I realized, like, oh, that's because you go there and you think that anything less than like some masochistic, full destruction workout is a failure. And so I go there and I guilt and shame myself into just absolutely annihilating my body. And that is obviously going to create a huge aversion to going to the gym. Go there and do, have fun. Do what you actually enjoy, and fuck it. Just, don't do the rest unless, you're a professional athlete and that's what you're working towards. But still, you gotta find a way to, do it with bliss, do it with happiness. It's just so much more potent if going to the gym, if you can train yourself that going to the gym is pure bliss rather than just a way to avoid the shame and guilt of not going. It's obviously going to be easier to go to the gym. And like I said, all this stuff, I'm only just realizing. It took me 31 years to, even begin to grasp what the hell is going on inside my head. So if that's you and you don't know what the hell is going on up there and you feel like you're living in chaos and you just keep ending up like this cyclical thing where you just keep ending up right where you started, like you have the illusion that you're climbing up, you can finally see the light, and then boom, like you all of a sudden realize you're not just at another rock bottom, you're at a deeper rock bottom somehow, because it's a way deeper rock bottom. It's one thing to just be living, carefree and thoughtlessly, and then suddenly find yourself in rock bottom. But when you're trying as hard as you possibly fucking can to climb out of it, and spending every single waking moment on self-improvement and knowledge acquisition, and just fighting to figure out how the hell to get out of this fucking black hole that you're in, and you finally think you're making a little progress, and then boom, you're back at a new low and a new rock bottom, or you feel like you've barely moved. It actually feels like much deeper and more painful, because you're like, will I ever fucking emerge from this thing? Holy hell. And the answer is yes. Just keep keep going. Just relax while you do it. That's the key. It's so important, and it sounds counterintuitive, especially when you type A personality that just thinks you have to pack as much, improvement and progress into every single day as possible, and anything you don't do is some sort of mark against you and this failure. It's all bullshit. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit and figure out different ways to be in a state of happiness. So I finally realized about my job. I thought I hated selling insurance. And it turns out that's just patently false. I hated things it represented. I hated failures in myself that it represented. I hated the expectation of where I would be at this point in my life versus where I'm actually at. But, I finally realized if you can't, I got myself to this point. I made the bed, so now let's sleep in it. The fastest way out is always through. And if I can't be happy doing something that I don't enjoy, then it turns out I just can't be happy. It's not, it's easy to go out and do things that are filling your brain and mind with dopamine and things that you love, but a real testament of the art of happiness, the art of creating true happiness in your life is learning to create joy doing things that you don't like, or that you are in opposition to who you are. And I used to think that doing that would lead me to getting trapped or like an illusion, but I'm never going to delude myself that this is what I'm meant to be doing. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to trick myself and get comfortable. I'm just going to not fill myself with negative emotions while I'm doing what has to be done, and that will allow me the flexibility and creativity to figure out a way out of it as quickly as possible. So just tuck in, enjoy what you're doing, have fun, laugh at where you ended up. Believe me, I never thought I'd be sitting in a fucking call center selling health insurance ever. That was the farthest removed from potential possibilities you could ever imagine. When I got this job, I applied to every other job in the basically Orlando and Florida area. Every fucking job you can imagine, like shitty, like even shittier call center jobs, because I had such an aversion to selling insurance. It's just not something I had any interest in. And I got denied every job you can imagine. No, like even if I got interviewed for something, never heard back from them. I mean, the shittiest jobs ever, like Asurion, working at Asurion in a call center, helping people get their phone. I got denied that job. It was, thank God I did, but at the time, it was a fucking major blow to my self-esteem. I mean, when I say applied for every job, I mean every single job on Indeed, sent them a variety of different, cover letters and different styles of, resumes, and I was just flat declined. You're not worthy, is what it felt like everyone was saying, and it was haunting, and it was true. I do have, all of my skills were very much centered around my physical ability. That was my, main selling point. But I said this video was going to be over a while ago. Anyways, love you guys. I'm going to go sell some health insurance. I'm going to hit the gym partway through the day, and I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will see you for day 99. Day 98, over and out. Bye-bye.